Hey guys, this is CrazyWargamerz Christian here with our first battle report of our entire YouTube page. Thanks for coming by and taking the time to sit and listen to me babble on. This game is between me and CrazyWargamer Brian here. Brian plays the Space Marines. I play their chaotic counterparts, the Chaos Space Marines. Want a little info on our color scheme? I play as the Warriors of Mayhem. I don't see them a lot in the Codex, and I only see actually absolutely no fluff for them at all, so I just make it up as I go. Brian plays the Steel Dragons, the spearhead of the Salamanders. He'll list off the story behind his guys as well as I will in a later video. But anyway, on to the action. This game was played as a Dawn of War capture and control. It was a 1,500 point game. And well, let's go ahead and start off with the games. Turn 1, I got the initiative there. Oh, and you'll notice that Demon Prince was my HQ. He had the Mark of Nurgle, and he had warp time and wings. That Demon Prince also is not mine. That belongs to CrazyWargamerz Steppy. Steppy plays the Chaos Demons. He uses a square base. I would prefer to use a circle base, but it's his Demon Prince, not mine. Anyway, getting on to it. Turn 1 was actually pretty eventful. I got the turn, and what I did there is deploying first my Chaos Khorne Berserkers in a Chaos Rhino, which was demonically possessed, which I'll feature in the Chaos Space Marine Tactics in a later video. First thing I did was I kept my Khorne Berserkers in the Rhino, and I also deployed my Plague Marines and held the objective. And then I did something that I try to do in a lot of games. I try to run over something with the Rhino, but then I decided against running something over, and I just got the thing across the board. Brian used a Chapter Master armed with a Plasma Pistol, Relic Blade, and Artificer Armor. I think that's what it's called. I don't know the Space Marines as much as I could, but I try. And he also had a Tactical Marine out there, Tactical Marine Squad, not just one, full 10-man with a Sergeant. And he had his Scouts out there all armed with sniper rifles, capturing his objective, holding on to it. What I first did was I did warp time before the game began on my Demon Prince and passed the psychic test. Got myself all the way up to the front, and I engaged the Chapter Master in close combat. And since warp time allows me to reroll my to hits and to wounds, I easily took out the Chapter Master and survived, just barely, from that Relic Blade he had. Relic Blades are a strength 6 power weapon, and they are very deadly in the hands of a Chapter Master. I'll tell you that now. I've been killed I don't know how many times by Relic Blades. After I took care of the Chapter Master, my Rhino tried to unleash some holy hell with his unholy hell, with the Twin-Link Bolter armed with it, but since it's demonically possessed and it reduces my ballistic skill by 1, gives me a ballistic skill of 3, that didn't work out much. And the incredible armor saves of basic Marines, which I gotta say I rely on those a lot, on even my Chaos Marines, didn't do much good. In Brian's first turn, he let down the drop pod because of drop pod assault and unleashed his Vanguard veterans, which instead of going ahead and assaulting, they were all armed with, might I add, one lightning claw and a storm shield. Gives them a 3-up invulnerable, and the lightning claws allow them to reroll all wounds. He first got in there, and he could have assaulted, but he decided against it and decided to fire the bolt pistols at me. He took out 1 wound, I believe, from that, and on the Demon Prince. After the Demon Prince took out the Chapter Master. And that was about it for his turn. His Scouts unleashed a little bit of fire on the Demon Prince, but the Demon Prince survived that. Alright, then on turn 2, my Rhino held still and unleashed the Khorne Berserkers, which made short work of the Tactical Marines. Just really, really crazy work. The Khorne Berserkers are by far my favorite close combat troop in the entire 40k game, and I would know. I used to play Gene Stealers. I played them for 2 years. I also entered the Gene Stealers and Ardboys, but that's for a later game. Brian's Vanguard veteran, in his turn 2, came out and then decided to take out my Khorne Berserkers, making short work of them. They did do that. They were armed with the Lightning Claws and the Storm Shields, which made it impossible to kill them all off. I only took out just a few. Also, in the turn before, my Demon Prince had taken out the Scouts in an assault and was successful in taking him off his objective, which made it a little bit more difficult for him. But his Vanguard veterans were successful in destroying my Khorne Berserkers, And then in Brian's following turn, he unleashed his Stern Guard veteran there. And they used their special rounds at wound on a 2+. I can't remember what they're called, but they hit on his ballistic skill and wound on a 2+ and dealt a couple extra wounds to the Demon Prince. And that was about it for his turn. Nobody else was able to come in as Terminators, which you'll see later on that his Terminators for some reason are always near impossible to kill. Later on in that turn, in my turn at the least, in turn 2, my Defiler came out. Actually, this is turn 3. My Defiler came out for once and actually blew up a few of the Stern Guards Vanguards, who consolidated into cover. They're out of all the 5 of them, he only took out 3, and that didn't really do me much good. My Demon Prince then engaged the Stern Guard veteran, I've actually got this one right, and destroyed them while suffering no wounds, I believe, since the toughness 6 makes it incredibly difficult for them to wound him. And then that was about it for turn 3. Then his turn 3 came along, and he released his Terminators onto the field, which, to be honest, they really didn't do much until later on. They took out 3 of my Khorne Terminators in there, my Khorne Terminators, which had lightning claws on them instead of their regular Reaper autocannon, Twin Link Bolter, Power Fist, and Chain Fists. First time I wanted to try it out. His Dreadnought, which he calls so affectionately Frank the Tank. It's got Frank written down at the bottom, by the way. Frank the Tank tried to take out the Rhino from the back and didn't manage to do it. So he decided to be a jerk and go after my Rhino's ass, successfully blowing it up. And then his Vanguard veterans moved up as well, out of the way of my Demon Prince. Then also in my turn 4, moving on to turn 4, my Chosen were able to come in, and on the wrong side of the table, I was going to use them to go in and claim the objective for myself. You'll notice that my Chosen do look a little bit weird. First off, they had the Mark of Nurgle, so that it's chaos, who cares? But they had the Mark of Nurgle made a little tougher. I expected them to take some fire later on in the game, but that didn't happen. They were just ignored. They had a Melt-A-Gun on them and an Aspiring Champion, and the Mark of Nurgle, that was it, the icon. And you'll notice that my guys do, like I said, look a little bit funny. They are made out of Chaos Space Marine heads and weapons, and Space Marine legs and chests and backpacks. I use this to signify the fact that since in the Codex it says that the Chosen are usually further on the battlefield and they take up more space in the looting area. They tend to take the best spoils of the games, the best spoils of war, and therefore they have the best armor and such that can be salvaged. That kind of explains why they look so good. Then in my other turn, I decided to use the Demon Prince, which is actually Stephanie's Demon Prince, like I said earlier, and set my sights on the Dreadnought, which really didn't last too god-awful long, but made it a little difficult. Then finally, my turn, the Noise Marines were able to come in, but they didn't do anything. They just moved up onto the board after the Chaos Space Marines did. And the Khorne Terminators dealt with the rest of the Stern Guard veteran, the Vanguard veteran, and took them out, which really didn't matter as much as I thought it would. And then finally, the climactic clash between the Dreadnought and the Demon Prince. Demon Prince only managed to take out the Storm Bolter on his arm. He took out the Multi-Melta on his arm, and that was just about it. That's all my Demon Prince did. A monstrous creature with warp time, all he managed to do was take out the Multi-Melta. Good job, Demon Prince. You really proved your mettle there, you disgusting piece of dirt. And then the Terminator did manage to successfully wound it, but that didn't do much other than take him down to one wound at that point, and didn't manage to kill him. Then his Terminators just unleashed hell upon my Terminators and managed to take it down to one lowly little dude. And that really kind of sucked my morale there. I passed my leadership for that, and that was about it. And then at the end of the game, I had to engage my Defiler with his Terminators, that final Terminator of mine, and my Demon Prince. I didn't take out a single one of them in that combat. They survived, kept getting 5s and 6s for their invulnerables, which was ridiculous, but it was funny as hell. Like I said earlier, those Terminators are harder than crap to take out. For some reason, they had Power Fists, Storm Bolters, one guy had an autocannon, assault cannon, and one guy had a heavy flamer on him. So really, they didn't use their shooting as much as they could, but they did indeed take up a lot of punishment. It wasn't until his ensuing assault phase that I was able to take him out, and that was all thanks to the Defiler and the Demon Prince. Demon Prince had one wound by the end of all that. He suffered the entire game, getting shot at and getting beat up, and all he had left was one wound. That was it, which still made it pretty tough. Overall, it was a victory for Chaos, and I gotta say that was a really fun game. Not just because I barely lost anybody, but because my tactics really did work out as well as they could. But that's about it. We'll have some commentary later on videos about the game and about our armies and such. Until then, stick around, Crazy Wargamer Christian.